Alright, I have your guys' tests that you just took. I will grade them this week and have them in Skyward by the weekend. So if you have questions on your grade, I'm the one grading them, so make sure you email me. The next section only covers 2 lessons, so I'm going to teach both of them on video. And then Miss Scannell will start teaching next Wednesday. So both of these lessons, 8-1 will be on block day, 8-2 will be on Friday. And then 8-1, 8-2 review will be Monday, and then you'll have a quiz on Tuesday over this. It's only 2 lessons long. The notes are posted online, so remember the video goes kind of fast, so make sure you pause it so you can get everything down. And if you need help with anything, go back and look at the notes that are online. And make sure you have a graphing calculator with you. And so we're going to start with 8.1, which is over law of sines. Okay, so we've already solved triangles like this. Remember that we solved right triangles and we solved for all 3 angles and all 3 sides. This time we're going to solve for oblique triangles. Okay, so the formula that you need for law of sines is this formula right here. So A over sine of A is equal to B over sine of B is equal to C over sine of C. Okay, even though it's 3 separate fractions, you don't have to use all 3 fractions. You can only use two at once. So I can say A over sine of A is equal to B over sine of B. Okay, we're only going to use it for an angle side angle triangle and an angle angle side triangle. So you have to be given 2 angles to use this. All right, first example. We're given capital A is 111, capital C is 29, and then lowercase b is 12. Okay, so first thing I can solve for is capital B, because I know all 3 angles in any triangle add up to 180. So 111 plus b plus 29 should be 180. And so if I solve for b, I should get b is 40. Okay, now I can either solve for side A or side C. So I'm just going to start with side A. So I want side A. So the part of the law of sines formula that deals with A is A over sine of A. Okay, and then we're going to set that equal to one other fraction. The only other variable that we know both the side and the angle is B. So I'm going to set that equal to B over sine of B. And we don't know side C, so I can't use C for that. So if we fill in what we don't know little a. We know big A is 111, little b is 12, and then big B is 40. Okay, so to solve for A, we're going to cross multiply. So we have A times sine of 40 is equal to 12 times sine of 111. To get A by itself, I'm going to divide by sine of 40. Okay, so now in my calculator, just plug in 12 times sine of 111 divided by sine of 40. Okay, so that means little a should be 17.42. Sorry guys. Okay, so now to find C, I want side C. So I'm going to use C over sine of C. Okay, and then I have A and I have B. So it doesn't matter what I choose for the other side. So I'm just going to choose A. If you chose B, that's fine. Okay, so plug in what you know. Okay, cross multiply, you should get C is about 9.05. Make sure your calculator is in degrees for these. All right, question 2. Okay, so we know little a, capital C, and capital A. Okay, so first thing we can solve for is B. Where all angles in a triangle are always 180. So we should get B is 95.37. Okay, so you can solve for side B or side C first. It does not matter. I'm going to do side B. So I have B over sine of B. The only other one that I know both the angle and the side is A. So I'm going to set that equal to A over sine of A. So fill in the pieces you know. Cross multiply and divide, you should get 63.72. Okay, and for the last one, for side C, I want C. Now I have both for A and for B, so it doesn't matter which one you use. Okay, cross multiply, you should get 49.95. If you went ahead and just plugged in sine of 51.29, you probably got a little bit of a different decimal, so just make sure you're close to the decimal that I got. Alright, next problem is a word problem. There is one like it on your test, so make sure you write it down. Okay, you might have to pause it to write it down because I'm going to go ahead and start the problem. Okay, so the first thing it tells us is point C is 50 meters from point A. So if we draw a triangle ABC, from point A to point C, you know that's 50 meters. The second thing it tells us is if ACB, so this angle right here, is 112. We also know that BAC, so this angle here, is 42. We want to know the width of the crater. So the width of the crater is from point A to point C, or to point B, I'm sorry. So we're looking for this distance right here. Okay, we know it's A to B because if you go to the beginning, it says points A and B are on opposite sides of the crater. So we want to know that distance right there. So if we fill in the pieces we know capital A is 42. We don't know capital B, and capital C is 112. Okay, remember corresponding sides are across from their angles. So the side across from A we don't have. The side across from B is 50. And the side across from C is X. So that's what we're looking for. Okay, so to use law of sines, the first thing I need to find is B. So remember, all angles in a triangle add up to 180. So 42 plus B plus 112 should be 180. Okay, so now we know that B is 26. Okay, so now using law of sines, I'm looking for this side right here. So I'm looking for C. So I want C. The only other piece that I have both angle and side is B. So that's going to be equal to B over sine of B. Okay, so that's X over sine of 112 equals 50 over sine of 26. Cross multiply and divide, you should get X as 105.7 meters. Okay, remember to solve, all you're doing is cross multiplying here. So we have X times sine of 26 is equal to 50 times sine of 112. And then to get X by itself, we need to divide both sides by sine of 26. So this is the part that you're plugging into your calculator. All right, next thing we're going over. Okay, so we were given two angles and one side. That's the first two or three examples we did. So ASA or AAS. Now we're going to be given two sides and one angle. So SSA. Okay, so there's three cases. The first one, there's no triangle. Okay, this could happen if A is less than B, so side A is less than side B, or angle A, I'm sorry. was right side, sorry. So lowercase a is less than lowercase b. Okay, second case, there's only one triangle. That's the same situation. So a would be less than b. You'll see the difference in a second. All right, we're starting this slide over. Okay, so it's still SSA. If there is no triangle, side A is less than side B. If you skip down to the third one, the two distinct triangles, side A is also less than side B. Okay, so you'll see the difference. And then the middle one, if there's one triangle, then A is greater than B. Sorry for confusing you. All right, we're going to do one example of each of these. Okay, so the first one. It's set up the exact same way. So we're given side A, side B, and angle A. Okay, so we're going to set it up the exact same way. Okay, we cannot solve for side C because we don't know angle C. So we're going to have to solve for angle B. So we have A over sine of A is equal to B over sine of B. And so we have 15 over sine of 85 is equal to 25 over sine of B. Okay, before we go ahead and solve for B, if we come over here, we're given side A and side B. So side A is less than B. Okay, so this means we're either going to have 2 or none. Okay, that's from the previous slide. So remember, if A is less than B, then we're either going to have 2 triangles or we're going to have no triangles. Okay, so back over here to solving, if we cross multiply, and we want B by itself, so let's go ahead and divide by 15. So we have sine of B is equal to 25 times sine of 85 divided by 15. Okay, so you get sine of B is equal to 1.66. Remember, anytime you're solving for an angle, you have to do the inverse. So we're going to plug in second sine of 1.66. Okay, it should come up and say error. So if you do this, you should get an error on your calculator. Okay, so since we got an error, that means that there is no triangle for this one. Okay, the second example. So we know A is 12, B is 31, and A is 20.5. Okay, so before we start again, we have A is less than B. So this means that there are 2 or none. Okay, so if we start by solving for angle B, we're going to have A, which is 12, over sine of A, equals B over sine of B. Okay, cross multiply. Make sure you want sine of B by itself, so divide both sides by 12. Okay, so now we have sine of B is equal to 0.9047. Okay, so remember we're solving for an angle, so we have to do second sine of 0.9047. So if you plug that into your calculator, you should get 64.78. Okay, so since we got an answer for B, we did not get an error this time. This means that there are 2 triangles. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and finish out finding the rest of this triangle. Okay, so we can find capital C because we know 20.5 plus B plus C is 180. And so C is 94.72. Okay, now we can find side C. So we want C. So we have C over sine of 94.72. And we have A and B, so it doesn't matter which one you choose. Okay, go ahead and cross multiply. You should get C is 34.14. Okay, so this right here is triangle number 1. Okay, to find triangle number 2, we're going to start out the exact same way. Okay, we know little a was 12, little b was 31, and then big A was 20.5. Okay, so the first thing we solved for here in the first triangle was capital B. So to find capital B for the second triangle, we're going to take 180 minus the old b. So minus 64.78. Okay, so again, how we get this A, and this B just came from the original problem like normal. To find the new capital B, we take 180 and we subtract whatever the capital B we got was in the first triangle. Okay, and then we have to finish, so we have to find C and C. So all we would do is do law of signs like we have been doing. So go ahead and do that and make sure you get the same answers. You should get about 44.3 and 23.93. Okay, and again, all you're using to find these two right here is the law of signs. And then don't forget the three angles in the triangle add up to 180. All right, last example like this. Okay, so this time little a is 22, little b is 12, and capital A is 42. Okay, so before we start, this time A is greater than B, so this means that there's only one triangle. So it's kind of back to one of the original problems that we have already been doing. So we have to start by finding capital B. So we know A over sine of A is equal to B over sine of B. Okay, go ahead and cross multiply. And remember, anytime you're solving for an angle, you have to use second in your calculator. So cross multiply, use the second button, and you should get that B is 21.4. Okay, now if we want to solve for angle C, we know the three angles should add up to 180. We should get 116.6. Okay, and then last one, we want side C. So we have C over sine of C. And then we have B and we have A, so it doesn't matter which one you choose. I'm just going to choose A. So cross multiply, we should get 29.441. All right. Last thing we're going over is area of an oblique triangle. Okay, these are just a formula and they're fairly short, so this part won't take very long. Okay, there are three formulas for this. So the first one, area is equal to 1/2 times B times C times sine of capital A. The second one, area is equal to 1/2 times A times C times sine of capital B. And the last one, area is equal to 1/2 times B times A times sine of capital C. Okay, notice that in all three of them, we all start with 1/2, and then we multiply by two sides. So in the first one, we multiply by sides B and C. So that means the sine of our angle is neither one of those angles. So that's why it's angle A. The second one, the two sides we use are A and C. So we didn't use side B, so B is our angle. Same thing with the last one. We use sides A and B. So we did not use sine C, so C is our angle. Okay, we're only going to do one of these examples. Oops. All right, so we're going to do example number 4 only. Okay, so it says find the area. So capital A is 13, lowercase b is 12, lowercase c is 25. Okay, so if you go back to the three formulas, the one that has angle A in it is area as 1/2 times B times C times sine of A. Okay, we just chose that one because we have side B, side C, and we have angle A. So if we plug in what we know, okay, and you can just plug this whole thing into your calculator. Okay, same thing, make sure you're in degree mode, so plug in 1/2 times 12 times 25 times sine of 13. You should get 33.74. And since it is an area, if you look up here, each side is in centimeters. So it's going to be 33.74 centimeters squared. All right, we're going to go ahead and do number 5. It's our last example. Okay, so before we start, if you look at the angle, it's in degrees and minutes. So remember, we just want it as a decimal, so to get it from degrees minutes to a decimal, we're going to take our degrees and add our minutes divided by 60. So this is 49.6 degrees. Okay, so this time we have side A and side B and angle C. So we're going to use the formula 1/2 times B times C times sine of capital A. Or capital C, I'm sorry. So now we have 1/2 times 31 times 40 times sine of 49.6. Okay, so you should get 472.15. This one, the units was meters, so meters squared. Okay, that's all the examples for today. Here's your homework assignment. In the black folder that Ms. Scannell has labeled analysis assignments, you should find my worked out solutions for this. So as you're working through your homework, go through and check your answers to make sure you're getting the same thing as me. And if you have questions, you can kind of see where you messed up. I will have my email open all day and most of the night. So if you have questions over this, please email me. I know this is not ideal for learning this section, but this is how we have to do this section right now. Tomorrow, law of cosines will be on Friday. You will have to know law of sines for law of cosines. So make sure that you understand this section, okay? And then your review on Monday, I'm going to try to put something together so you can have the option of just doing your review worksheet, or you can watch another kind of guided video of a few examples with me. Okay, so again, please feel free to email me if you have any questions over anything today.